Change Austin here, recording with the Austin Free Press. We are letting everyone in America and in Austin know the truth about 9/11. It is the 11th of the month, so therefore We Are Change Austin is letting everyone know what really happened on 9/11. We have flyers made by Garco of We Are Change Austin. Here with Ryan, recording so we can expose to the world what really happened in 9/11. Now in Texas, there's a law that you must have windshield wipers. Now you don't have to have a windshield, but you have to have windshield wipers, which means that everyone will get one of these who has a car, whether or not they have a windshield. Thomas Jefferson once said, "Sick is the greatest form of patriotism." So right now, I am being a patriot, and I suggest that everyone out there does the same thing. Show your support. Join We Are Change Austin. Join TAG, Texas for Accountable Government. Support Ron Paul. Support HR 1207 to audit the Fed. 9/11 was an inside job so they can start endless wars in foreign countries and have endless money, endless oil, and endless drugs. Everyone must know the truth. This is a Jeep Liberty, and it will now have Liberty on it. I don't know if this is legal or not, and I don't care. Ryan, what is your take on 9/11?
Pretty sure it might have been an inside job.
Just might have been an inside job.
Well, some things lead me to suspect that.
How many buildings fell on September 11th?
There was 3 buildings.
3. I thought building 1 and 2 fell, and that's it.
No, there's actually a third building.
Third building, but there were only 2 planes that hit the towers. How did that happen?
Magic, I think.
Magic.
I'm going with magic, or, as you pointed out earlier, it may have been really depressed, and it killed itself.
Is that how it got nanothermite in the tower and put nanothermite in the kill itself?
I do believe so.
Maybe we should Google building number 7. Maybe we should Google that.
You know, people may hang themselves or shoot themselves or drown themselves, but buildings evidently use nanothermite.
You know, so that makes sense because, from what I understand, jet fuel doesn't burn hot enough to bring down a building because steel cannot melt at jet temperature, jet fuel temperature. So it must have been nanothermite.
And they wasted all that money on the 9/11 Commission, and we just figured it out.
But didn't 6 out of 10 commissioners say that they were not allowed to do their job? The government didn't let them actually do a real investigation?
That's true.
So it almost seems like the government has a commission, tells them not to really investigate. That's like a cover-up.
It'll be a rare cover-up because in this case, the building did commit suicide, and they claimed it didn't.
Oh, that's very interesting. Now, why is it that most of the hijackers who supposedly hijacked the plane and flew them into the building, why is it that most of them are alive and overseas and have been seen on TV? So they did not commit suicide. The building committed suicide via nanothermite, but yet all of the terrorists, a lot of them who were alive, they made it out of the plane that exploded, that melted in steel. They made it down the 100 stories and back overseas to be okay unharmed.
I think this proves that they weren't terrorists. They were actually in on some kind of life insurance scheme.
Is that kind of like the insurance that Larry Silverstein pulled out on his Twin Towers? The owner of the Twin Towers pulled out just prior to 9/11 for a terrorist attack.
That was very coincidental, but very lucky of him. Very fortunate.
That just be luck. Now, what about the fact that the government was running drills to simulate 9/11 on 9/11 so that the FFA was confused when all this was going down and they just thought it was a drill? Another coincidence.
Very unfortunate accident. Otherwise, they could have responded much quicker.
Now, what I don't understand, this is another weird thing, just unlucky, is that months before 9/11, the rules for a hijacked aircraft changed to be able to shoot it down to not be able to shoot it down. Then right after 9/11 it changed. So it's unfortunate that 9/11 happened in that time when we weren't allowed to shoot down the plane. But then, why is it that our military was told not to shoot down the plane? I mean, if planes are being flown into buildings, why would the government tell our air defense system to stand down? That's weird.
Very odd. Very, very odd.
So that's why we're out here, because there's a lot of weird, odd things about 9/11. Now, is it not true, my friend, that President Bush signed the order to go into Afghanistan a day before 9/11, 9/10? But yet, the government says we're in Afghanistan because of 9/11. It kind of seems like we had 9/11 because of Afghanistan.
I think we're just there to spread democracy right now.
It has to be to spread democracy. I see all those pictures of the mothers and children amputated and bleeding. I mean, that's because that's democracy, right?
It's really hard to enforce democracy. You have to make people be free.
That is true. Now, is democracy another name of a new type of weapon? Is that what we're spreading?
No, but you do have to force it at gunpoint, evidently, these days.
So freedom must be forced upon them.
Yes. It's for their own benefit.
But of course, the only reason they hack us is because they're jealous of our freedom. Everyone's jealous of the Patriot Act. I want to be patriotic and burn away the Constitution.
So what happens after you figure out the answer to this one question of what happened on 9/11, or at least get a general idea?
Well,
where does that lead from there?
Where that leads to the truth. That leads to the rabbit hole that goes down so deep that you'll almost never get to the bottom of it. But what you must understand is who's behind it, who benefits. You know what? Let's have a little history lesson. 1907, J.P. Morgan told everyone his bank was going to fail in New York, causing the 1907 panic, bank run. 1910, on Jekyll Island, the heads of all the major banks, Rothschilds, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, and so on, met in private on Jekyll Island at J.P. Morgan's estate and made the Federal Reserve Act. 1913, it was put into effect. From then on, the banking cartel controlled our money because the Fed has the power to print our money, so that is why they control everything. So continuing on, now that we know the banking cartel controls the money, controls the government, by having 9/11, not only can they take away our rights, but now they have endless money and endless freedom to fund endless wars. They get to take all the drugs that were over in Afghanistan and whatnot and bring them to America. For us, hell no. Drugs are illegal for the government to sell. This is the very last flyer. We're going to put it on the very last car. What this says, wake up, America. Get off your couch, turn off the TV, and read for yourself. Don't believe me because I'm a guy in a cool hat out here in the raining cold days of December with a flyer. Google it yourself. Google building number 7. WeAreChangeAustin.org, the Austin Free Press, Infowars.com. The truth shall set you free. Thank you.
In heaven, God overslept on the 7th. The New World Order was born on September 11th. Father, forgive them, for they don't know right from wrong. The truth is set you free, written down in a song. And the song has the cause of death written in code. The word of God brought to light that'll save your soul. Save your soul, motherfucker. Save your soul.